Stuffs it with the one hand. Sobey upstairs. And in the face. It's been one hell of a night for Chris Smith.
The alley-oop play.
There's that man Tyrell again.
Finds the cover. Johnson puts it down with two hands.
Johnson gets moving on transition. Nice pass.
Gary Clark, they lift him alone. Gary Clark punches it down with the right hand.
It's the final game of round number 9 in the Hungry Jacks NBL Nissan Arena, the host venue for Sunday afternoon hoops as the Brisbane Bullets play host to the Illawarra Hawks. There's where they both stand on the Mitsubishi Motors ladder. I'm Jack Heverin. Great to have your company alongside Pete Hooley and Jenna O'Hay. And Hools, tough news for the Bullets. They'll be without Josh Bannon today.
Yeah, laid out, delayed concussion from the other night. So it is a big piece to miss. He's been integral with the way he's come into the Bullets lineup. He was injured with a knee injury to start the season. So this is what they're going to roll out. Mitch Norton, Sobey, Sam McDaniel, DJ Mitchell and Tara Harrison. He's been a revelation.
And Jenna, welcome to you. The Illawarra Hawks 1-0 under new coach, interim coach, I should say, Justin Tatum. The rotation is definitely shortened. We saw that in the first game.
Yeah, and he's spoken about it as well. So I'm interested to see what he's been able to implement during this fever break, and I'm excited to get this game underway.
A delayed start because of the finish of Melbourne and Cairns in one of the upsets. Imagine of the season so far, Cairns beating Melbourne on their home floor. And now it's Brisbane's chance to make it 2 in a row after their win over the Taipans on Friday night. Brisbane in possession to start with. Harrison and Froling will be an intriguing matchup underneath. Harrison gets his own rebound. 2 attempts, can't score.
I like that they go to him early. I mean, he has been awesome. This all started with that Bain suspension, 5 games. The first 2 of those, he was really slow, getting those starters minutes, and ever since that, he just hasn't put a foot wrong, and that's why he's continued to start and play really well.
And number 100 this afternoon for him as well. Tyler Harvey is a mile off with his first attempt. And Sam McDaniel with the lob for Sobey. Was a little ambitious, perhaps. Now Sobey relocates for 3.
Oh, boy. Well, if we weren't delayed, I'd say let's start it again in 10 minutes and let's just get that 52 seconds back. Tyler Harvey knew that was off from the moment it left his hand. He sprinted after it.
Bullets from the baseline. It's been a little ragged this first minute. The Hawks just 3 wins for the season. And McDaniel just find underneath, and DJ Mitchell starting this afternoon is on the ball. How do they cover the loss of Josh Bannon, Jenna?
Oh, that's tough. He's been so good for the Bullets this year. But, you know, DJ coming in, he can be aggressive offensively like you just saw, and I hope he gets on the glass and really makes an impact in this Bullets starting lineup.
So he played 9, 14, 8 and 8 minutes in his last 4 games. There he is again. Good chance for him today. And Sobey to the rack, scores.
Good ball movement, side to side. That's why the defense was shifting for the Hawks, and then Sobey just getting downhill. And I think we see more minutes of guys like Sam McDaniel, Mitch Norton as well. Those guys who can impact the game without the ball, which is kind of what Josh Bannon's been doing as Gary Clark. I mean, talking about one of the most consistent guys for Illawarra this season. He started slowly, but since then, he's just been enormous.
Last 4 games, Gary Clark, averaging 19 points and 5 rebounds. And I think we're now starting to see his full potential. Turnover from Brisbane.
Oh, boy.
Turnover Illawarra.
Look, it's always hard with that delayed start. You don't know how long warm-up is. Extra time gets put on the clock, so we can forgive them for a bit of a sloppy start.
There's some very familiar jerseys in the crowd.
How good.
Homicide, we've got ours here at the commentary desk.
We know he's watching. He's been back. He's been back on Twitter, or X as we call it now. He's been showing some love to the Red Army, so it's good to see. I tell you what,
I'm almost uncomfortable seeing Corey show love to the Red Army.
I know, right? It doesn't feel right.
Doesn't feel right.
But speaking of which, I'm wondering whether the Hawks, and particularly Coach Tatum, has taken a page out of their book with moving Christian Doolittle down to the 3, saying they're doing it with Gary Clark here, and a different kind of lineup in it worked for them. They're 1-0, but it's a very interesting move.
Harrison underneath can score. And Brisbane scoot away to an early lead. Derek Rucker's courtside. Welcome to you, Ruck.
Hey, Jack, happy to be here. Of course, it's a great afternoon here in Brisbane, but one of the things I wanted to talk about is Gary Clark, and you guys have just been touching on him. He is a real physical mismatch in this competition. And today, with playing the three, you see he has a smaller Sam McDaniel on him. It's a perfect opportunity to stretch the defense out and get him down on the block. He's had an excellent season for the Hawks and probably the real shining light.
He's started well in this one too. Some Peatling out there for his first minutes. Froling must take underneath and scores.
Love Sam Froling being aggressive. We all know and how great he can be. And so I really like that he started off aggressive, and I hope that shows and he can perform similar to the last game before the break.
Yeah, call for the foul there. Just tried to wall up, but I even think Harrison losing his balance kind of helped. And quick substitution here. Todd Blanchfield in for Mason Peatling. So I was just highlighting how much I enjoyed seeing Gary Clark slide down to the three. And although Blanchfield can play the four as well, it looks like Gary Clark will probably step into that power forward role.
I mentioned Tyrell Harrison playing game number 100 today. Leads the competition in blocks and field goal percentage this season. And the suspension of Aaron Baines as he leaves both free throws on the line. Brisbane will get it back. It's created a real opportunity for him that he's taken. Late clock for Brisbane. McDaniel will have to shoot and scores over the top.
They made hard work of it. DJ Mitchell, that was probably a little too unselfish. That's going to go up in the corner, and then Sam McDaniel, probably that first catch and shoot, have your feet set, ready to tee off. But he's only shooting 20% from three this season, which has probably got into his mind as he's going to take that one. And speaking of which, Mason Robertson, Harrison blocks that one. He's really struggling to shoot from outside. He's 26% on the year.
Morton on the line as well. Now, Jenny, you were living in Queensland this time last year. You saw a lot of Brisbane games and games in Queensland in general. What are you seeing that's different about the Bullets this year with the way that they're playing under Justin Schuller?
Yeah, I think they've got a really good roster this season. I think they're getting really good leads. I think we've spoken about their fourth quarter fade-outs, and we really hope that the Mozzie is off them after getting that win on Friday night and being able to finish that game off. I think winning is a habit, and I think they're slowly learning that under Justin Schuller, and I think they'll have, you know, a really good few games here, and if they can get those wins, then their confidence is going to be sky high, and that's exactly what they need.
I think your point about the recruitment and the team they put together is huge, because you look at what they've got now and bringing it, like Sam McDaniel and Mitchell, and you want guys who can impact the game in a positive way without necessarily touching the ball or scoring, and both of them are two of those guys. And then you want a facilitator. You bring in Shannon Scott, who's terrific in that aspect, and then lets Nathan Sobey be himself, and we're starting to see Chris Smith also come into being that kind of secondary go-to scorer.
Harvey trying to get free and away from Sam McDaniel. Instead, it's Froling who puts the ball on the floor and lays it up.
That's what you want to see, Jenna.
I really do, and I really love that Harrison and Froling are going at each other both ends. They're two young five men in this league, and I think they can both be stars in the future. They're stars right now, but I think they can offer so much more, and I'm really enjoying this battle between the two of them today.
I mean, we see how good Sam Froling can be, don't we? We see it in glimpses throughout the season, and I think it's more positive than it's not, for sure, but it's almost like he sees a favourable matchup, and this is his year on year. And I mean, we expected probably even a bigger jump than we've seen this year. I mean, he leads the league in double-doubles, or he's tied with that now with Alan Williams. But it's like he looks at the matchup he's got, and here we've already seen him take Tyrell Harrison off the dribble twice, and he said, okay, this is a good matchup for me. And then he plays a more agile, athletic big like a Keanu Pinder or Joe Luala-Chua. Chris Smith instantly. And it takes him a while to come out of his shell. That's why I think you just like to see him in attack mode all the time.
Speaking of attack mode, Chris Smith, 17 points on Friday night, 6 of 11 from the field. Into his work quickly this afternoon. Froling again, takes it at Harrison. That time though, Blanchfield, offensive rebound, out for AJ Johnson. Brisbane make a little mess of it underneath.
That is one thing the Hawks do really well, is really crash the offensive rebounds.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay.
Oh, that's pretty.
It's a beautiful jump shot.
It really is. It's a gorgeous technique. It takes a little longer to get off than some others, but That right there, that's just a youngster breakdown from AJ Johnson checking into the game. Strong side corner, you just cannot help off, especially when Chris Smith just checks into the game.
Derek Rucker, courtside.
It's always interesting, guys, to see a team in person for the first time. And from what I had seen earlier in the year to what I see now, as Blanchfield is in his spot, corner three bucket. But what I see here is this team's much more enthused. They're together, the Hawks, and they look much more courageous and full of conviction than what we probably saw before the FIBA break, guys.
Well, there's some reports came out that they were going to use, I mean, a lot of teams in the FIBA break chose to send some players home. Holiday, nice time to refresh. A lot of teams needed to. There were some injuries going around, no doubt. But Justin Tatum wanted to put in like a whole new game style and was using this to hit the floor. And really, there was, I guess you would have had a couple of days off, but no break, essentially, trying to come in. And we're seeing it right now with this 2-3 zone that they've started to run. They're almost picking up at half court. It's kind of looked very Syracuse-like with the length they've got thrown out there. And maybe this is the kind of style they want to play, which is we're seeing these lineups.
There's a White from the free throw line. It's the Bullets who lead by 3. Midway through the opening quarter at Nissan Arena. Blanchfield, beautiful pass for Johnson. Sparkle the Bullock is fouled. There is some enthusiasm and some vigour about the way that they've started Illawarra.
Look, this is their first game since the break, so I feel like they've got a pep in their step. You know, it's a long time to be training for just for 2 weeks. So first game back, you'd hope that you'd have that pep in your step, and I'm really seeing it.
And you always watch the subbing patterns of a new coach, but early minutes for AJ Johnson, early minutes for Todd Blanchfield.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because he's spoken about shortening the rotation. He kind of looked at the matchups and you say, okay, so coming off the bench, it's going to be like an AJ Johnson or Bawali Bales, or who are we going to go there? It's going to be a Todd Blanchfield or Hyunjong Lee, and then it's probably going to be a Dan Greer or a Wani Swacker or Bullock. That's the kind of mix he's going to have to pick one or two of. But look at this zone. Look how high in the length and athleticism Swacker, Bullock, and AJ Johnson. And he doesn't get a load of pain. That's too easy. You play a 2-3 zone. You play a zone defense consistently, Janet, for 2 reasons. 1, you're elite at it and it can be disruptive. And 2, you're a very bad man-to-man defensive team. So let's hope it's number 1 and they can really have some success with it.
Blanchfield for 3. He just hasn't been seeing the minutes that perhaps he would have liked this season. Smith in the corner. So good to watch.
He's just been on fire. You cannot leave him on the 3-point line.
That is a beautiful feed. AJ Johnson for Froling.
His confidence is going to continue to grow, no doubt. Defensive breakdowns from both teams. Sam Froling up to 7 points already. This is what we wanted to see.
The Hawks have thrown a few different things at Brisbane and very nearly forced a turnover. Great bailout for Baines, who scored off their last 2 possessions.
Right now that zone's getting picked apart down low. They're getting whatever they want. Underneath the hoop, Baines, it was Harrison. And that can sometimes be the issue when you've got the guards. The way the guards are playing so high, that high post is going to be there. Some more substitutions come in. Robinson, Harvey back into the game. Mason Peatling and Lockie Albrecht. So
it's like a line change there. It was 4 in, 4 out.
Bit of NHL about it.
Derek Rucker.
This is an interesting matchup, guys, because the Bullets wear you down with size. But already we've alluded to the fact that the Hawks are trying to wear the Bullets down or disrupt them with length and athleticism. And it's going to be really interesting to see which one wins out over the 40 minutes.
Coming back with Are you ready?
Justin Shullett, first-year coach, is this group well drilled and well structured. And thinking their way through early. Albrecht swings to Justin Robinson. 26% for the season. That looked good.
His whole career he's been able to stroke it. He's struggled minorly this season. Shannon Scott misses that one and shot the ball pretty well in the NBA, so maybe his range is a couple of steps back, but
completely unsuccessful. Again, just a little wasteful with ball in hand. Turnovers were a problem for them on Friday, and Illawarra hurt them at the other end.
Yeah, Scott's obviously missed a little bit of time with those injuries, and he just hasn't got his execution on his passes haven't been as good as what I remember them being last year. So I'm sure he'll get back into rhythm once he starts playing more games again, and he'll be fine.
Isaac White for three, another who's had his shooting troubles this season.
Has he what? Just 13.5% or something from deep, and he's a much better shooter than that. And again, it is very interesting to see their own team, it looks like, coming out of the fever break, and they're playing really aggressive. They're jumping up and down. The energy's there. There has been a couple of holes that Brisbane's punished them with that, but they've got a couple of deflections, a couple of stops. They're going to get out and run. And I don't mind it. Something different. I didn't see him much at all in the first games of the season.
Rocco Zakowski checks in. Brisbane's next up. Played a very important role for them in the third quarter on Friday.
Neither team is shy in getting up those three-point shots in this first quarter of this game.
It's three-point attempt number 8 for Illawarra in the first quarter. Only 2 successful attempts. Smith never shot. And if you can shoot it like that, why would you be shot?
The arc on that.
That was tough.
Oh my, there's just too many breakdowns right now down that end for Brisbane. And it's not the first rotation, it's the second one. Rocco Zakowski's doing his job. When there's someone's beat, he's stepping up. Someone's got to come across and help him out down low. It's happened to Harrison, it's happened to Baines. But Chris Smith, he has found it and really relishing this role now coming off the pine.
Daniel, little turnaround jumper.
Well, it's official, defense is optional.
28-21, last minute of the first quarter. Peatling, great find, good position, and one.
Well, they got lucky there to get away with an offensive foul. Looked like a little bit of an elbow up to Isaac White.
That's just where his head is, because he's a little mouse in the house there.
See right there. Oh, I'm with you. There's the height difference. The referee's a bit hot on that. But it's a good way to punish the switch. And Mason Peatling, he's one of those guys, if he's got a switch, he's not going to do anything else other than just sit down low. And if you miss him, he's probably going to go set a screen. He's not going to do any, drop his head or anything, but way to reward the big fella.
Cuts it back to 4.
Tatum screaming, and this is what it's all about. He's trying to get the energy on the defensive end. I mean, let's face it, before the fever break in the start of the season, you say a poor defensive team, it's an understatement. They were really bad.
No way. Oh, heat check on that one.
Not that far away.
We'll let him take that one.
Foul on McDaniel, so bonus free throws for Illawarra.
Justin Tatum talking, saying 12 is the trap right away when they inbound. So with all the talking he's doing, he's up and down the sideline. It seems like they're going to fall back to that 2-3 zone and try and disrupt. It's not just get back and kind of play passive, but they're going to keep switching it up. On makes, it's not just going to be on free throws. They're going to throw a trap straight away. They're going to have a slow down, full court press. They're going to try and do a bunch of different things, really junk it up defensively. But what's going to be there is energy, and that's all we've seen.
And I really like it. It keeps the offense guessing on the other team, and you know, you can cause turnovers with that if you're doing something different each time the defensive end, as long as you all know what defensive scheme you are in that position, in that play.
And it probably makes sense. That's why I've seen the subs come in a bit, because it's going to get tiring. Not only are you trying to run through offense quick, but you have to get up and play D full court.
The shot clock's been switched off. 6 seconds for Brisbane. One last chance to score heading into quarter time.
I'm not convinced that was going to bounce off. Rocco just saw the ball above the rim and said, I'm going to quick 2.
There's nothing that quite gets the Nissan crowd hyped up like anything that Rocco does. So you can hear the crowd as soon as he dunks that. They love him in Brisbane at Nissan Arena.
It's true, he was tying his shoes pre-game and Rocco was there cheering on the sideline. I don't think it would have gone in, but you never know how the ball's going to bounce on that second one. Says a guy that didn't have too many options to get up there and try and do the same. Good to see Mitch Norton's throwing his calendar out. It was definitely December.
Correct. A smile after that miss. He won't be smiling after he misses both. Sobey, long rebound for three. Can't get it to count. It's a 2-point lead to the Bullets. Quarter time at Nissan Arena. Sunday hoops. It's the Bullets 28, the Hawks 26, and the Hungry Jacks NBL.
Retrieve your own ball, gentlemen. First to do it, it's a signed Bullets ball. Gentlemen, are you ready? Is everyone else ready? Let's make some noise. Ready, set, go! We've already seen some nice ball handling skills from Ollie and Bastion. Off the rim. All right, I think that one was courtesy of Ollie. All right, we got a close race now. Both men successfully hit their first layup. No dribbling issues here. Ollie with his first attempt on his second layup. Quickly, Bastion, if you can get this one in. Oh, yeah! Let's give them both the Bullets side ball. How about a bit of noise for Ollie and Bastion? Taking it out, the All Properties Group All-Star Challenge.
Second quarter. Let's stretch this thing out to at least 10.
Quarter time at Nissan Arena in Brisbane. It's the Bullets who lead the Hawks 28-26, and a nice start shooting-wise for Brisbane as well. 12 of 18 from the field, 4 of 8 from outside. I've got a couple of nice Mitsubishi Motors threes, courtesy of Chris Smith, who started this game very well. It's been high scoring after a little bit of a sloppy start. Genero Hay and Pete Hooley.
Yeah, it was a bit slow, but, you know, it was that delayed start, so extended warm-up time for them. But once they got into it, that was a super entertaining first quarter.
Jong Lee checked in for his first minutes here. He's going to get a... That's a layup. That's a layup for young Jong Lee. You can leave him that open. You talk about Chris Smith having a beautiful shot. Lee's up there as well, and AJ Johnson managed to trip up Sam McDaniel a little bit. And
Here's Johnson with some hands in the passing lane again. He's done some nice things the next start. And he goes coast to coast that time. Can't score. Robinson threw a pass for Clark that was a little off.
We spoke about shortening the rotation for the Hawks, but there's been 10 players already that have played.
And maybe he did say that before they had this fever break to work on everything, and I guess this style of play and the energy they're playing with, and maybe that's the idea is, okay, we're going to have to get through a few more bodies in the first half if guys are getting a little tired out there. And I can say that. Damon Lowry's not here, so I'm allowed to talk about getting tired in the game.
It does happen.
The Bullets take the lead back. Robinson, Lee, Johnson, Clark, Froling on the floor for Illawarra. Mitchell, Scott, Sikorsky, Sobey, and McDaniel for the home team. And Froling forces Sikorsky into a foul.
It's really good patience there, and those are the plays that Rocco's going to mature with over the next couple of seasons is, okay, I'm going to try and protect the rim, but if I'm out of position, I can't time my jump, maybe I've just got to wall up and make it difficult, because he stands there, walls up, puts his arms in the air.
It's a tall wall.
Exactly right, and Sam Froling's still going to have to put a little bit more on that hook shot than he would normal. Instead, you send him to the free throw line, where he has been good this year. That was a big focus on him.
It's a feast of talented young Australian bigs on the floor today. Froling. Harrison's from New Zealand, obviously, so but we can claim him if he's any good. That's generally what we do. Olbrich, Zakarski. Very talented tall men out there today. Pretty sure that the tall backs won't let us claim Tyrell Harrison, but shot clock down to 10. Clark swings into the corner. One jump lead for his second three. Timeout Brisbane. Justin Schuller seeing a couple of things that he's not liking right now.
Just like you can't leave Smith for the Bullets, you cannot leave Lee for the Hawks.
Especially not when the coach is calling for that pass, that corner to corner. You can hear Justin Tatum screaming about it. That was the first one he got, and I tell you what, anytime a shooter checks in, knocks down one on their first shot, you just got to make sure that their next shot is heavily contested, because it's not too bad from Sobey, but you let him get the ball above his shoulders. He's already knocked one down. Shoots 41% from three, nearly 42%. He's going to knock him down.
4-point lead of the Hawks in the snooze timeout. And pre-game, Derek Rucker caught up with the interim coach of Illawarra, Justin Tatum.
You were probably the envy of many coaches around the world. You're undefeated as a coach. You had a great victory down in New Zealand.
Yeah.
What was the key to getting that one under your belt?
It was big for us. It was big for the morale of our team, for the fact that we can compete on the defensive end. We can actually win on the road. So that was our whole talk about when we went into that game. And so everything else about the changing situation, the coaching situation, we weren't worried about that. We wanted to worry about competing on the defensive end and knowing that we can win on the road.
With such an abrupt change, how successful have you been in getting your principles and your philosophies about the game into this group?
So far, so good. I mean, as my voice has been around since July, and so when I took the job, they already kind of have a feel for me, and my expectations hasn't been too far off from what we were implementing in the beginning of the season, but I've just been more determined on that. So the guys are very well respected by me and likewise by them. So it's kind of easy to get through it to them.
Seems like a very wise basketball head. He has been around the game for a very long time.
I really love that. He spoke all about the defensive energy and getting amongst it, and you've seen that in this first quarter and start of the second quarter. So they're really implementing what the coach wants and really getting behind him, and that respect goes both ways, like he spoke about, and I'm enjoying watching this Hawks team.
They just get a couple of stops in this man-to-man. They basically sat in the zone the entire first quarter. Anytime they scored, they got back to that 2-3 zone. If it was a miss, they'd try and match up. Not man-to-man in his first 2 minutes, and it's worked well until Chris Smith walks into a three ball. Always happens that way.
12 points on 4 of 5.
Has he put the ball on the floor yet?
Doesn't need to.
Well, he's the guy that's really doing the damage, but overall for the Hawks, I really like the body language down here. Hools, you know how much I'm about vibe and energy, and you can see a significant shift in the Hawks as Bales lets one go from deep.
Tell you what, you can't say vibe and energy when you're wearing a white jacket like that. That's the ultimate vibe and energy there from Derek Rucker courtside, but you're right. And look, I think we can officially throw, as Chris Smith misses that one, we can officially throw the short rotation out the window.
11 now.
11 players have hit the floor. Wiley Bales checking into the game. So here is Chris Smith, and it's just good execution and pretty good screen there from DJ Mitchell. That's a good screen because it's maybe a little illegal. A little bit movement to the left, bit of offensive lineman about that.
Hawks by 1.
Gary Clark and Sam Froling, the only two players that have played 10 minutes. 2-3 zone now from the Bullets.
Johnson and Bales on the floor together. This one's young Lee. Off the dribble. Brisbane stand up defensively. Sobey, somehow Mitchell all on his own underneath. Timeout by the Hawks. A couple of breakdowns in a row, and Justin Tatum wants to have a chat.
Yeah, he spoke all about defense, and yeah, a few breakdowns in a row, so he needs to talk about that. Great find by Sobey in offensive transition to look ahead for that.
So now it's Brisbane who lead by 1, and at halftime we'll learn a little bit more about Chris Smith. We're liking what we're seeing, the more that we see of him here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Here's a sample.
everyone knows Australia, the competition here is just very good and lives up to its reputation. This is my first country where I can speak English to people, so this is something new. I try my best to be as consistent as possible, and I feel like that's gonna pay off.
35% coming into today as a shooter has been at a much higher clip in different places around the world, Pete, but last 3 or 4 games, we're now really starting to see what he's capable of.
Yeah, we see it very often when a new import comes into the league. It takes a while to adjust, and depending on what situation you're in. And I think after a while, when it came with Chris Smith, and again was the lineups and trying to figure things out, and obviously the Bain suspension and things that happened that were out of their control. But then he moved to the bench, and that probably takes a hit to your confidence, no matter how hard you try and spin it. And it took him a couple of games there, and then I'm sure the conversation would have been with Justin Shaw, like, hey, okay, Nathan Sobey's going to be our main guy in that starting unit, but when you come in, I need you gunning. I need you to, any time you have an open look, you let that thing fly. We need points off the bench. You're our guy. You're going to be in that 6th man of the year conversation because you're doing exactly what we're seeing in this game.
And I'd imagine, Jenna, not an easy one sometimes when you're an import. You come here with expectation, and early in the season, the coach says, look, we're going to bring you off the bench.
Yeah, it would definitely take a hit to the confidence, and yeah, I'm really impressed with how he's playing, and he's coming on, as Hull said, as that sniper. And I love that interview where he says, you know, he's come to Australia, it's the first place he can speak English, and there's so many imports who come to Australia and never leave, right, Derek?
Something we can't get rid of. Shout out to Ruck and Copes.
We're better for it.
We are. Much better for it. Again, late clock for Brisbane. Shannon Scott will have to try and get creative here.
It's exactly what Coach Tatum would have wanted. He called a timeout because he had those defensive mishaps, and yeah, that's a great stop in the defensive shot clock violation.
Ulbrich with the offensive rebound after his miss. Back out for Clark. That's tough, and it'll count.
Hey, anyway, but we'd like to see from Gary Clark, and would have been an adjustment for him as well. Has another 3-man substitution. We sometimes see it maybe once or twice a game. Maybe we've seen it twice in the first half. 3 out, 3 in.
But this was just after a timeout. They don't need the rest.
He just scored. And it's Todd Blanchfield back into the game. Hey, they're up 1. We can't knock it right now.
Smith turns the corner. Not that time. Is that so? Part of that, just trying to help everyone understand you two. You understand the modern game as well as anyone. Is part of it the coach saying, "I just want non-stop energy. I'm going to give you constant breathers, so you've got no excuse." Is that?
And that's what it seems like it is in this, doesn't it? Because again, all the talk about what's happening in the fever break and this new style of defense, and you can hear Justin Tatum on the sideline screaming after every basket to get up and in, and because no one's really been ripped for anything they've done wrong so much. It's just, okay, we're going to get fresh bodies. I want everybody as fresh as possible out there to be a pest defensively. But it is still, it's a lot right now. I mean, talk about the 3 out, 3 in. There's still been 2 other subs each quarter so far.
And I understand on the defensive end about that pressure and making sure there's no excuse and you're working hard when you're on there, but it's really hard to get any rhythm on offense when you're constantly coming in and out. So it's a fine balance that a coach needs to find, and I don't envy coaches.
That's why we're here. Is Josh Bannon not playing this afternoon for the Bullets? Derek Rucker.
Hey, Jenna, just a quick question, because I've been on the road before with Hools and Jack. You got any advice on how to get red Gatorade out of white, please? It's kind of urgent.
Have you had a spillage, Ruck?
It's a bit urgent, you know.
Sparkling
oh, look,
water.
I just found someone's wallet on the floor. It's a bonus day here.
He's handed it in. Good man. I've got a little peach jacket. I'm not sure about the white.
Hey, it's a warm day. I thought I'd go back. Hey, Susie, how are you? No problem.
Oh, my goodness.
It might be on the backside.
Concentrate on the job at hand, Ruck, please.
Are we interrupting his Sunday afternoon?
No, Susanna Walmsley, the great Brisbane Bullets media lady. She's down here with me.
Here's Norton in the corner. Great look for the Bullets.
Loves the corner 3, Mitch Norton. Doesn't take a heap of them, but you give him enough time and space.
As a team, they haven't been great from the three-point line this season, but they're shooting great today, over 50% from the three-point line in this first half.
Litchfield fouled. He's shooting the three.
8 different scorers for the Hawks, and here is Mitch Norton, and just good patience, good extra pass, and feet set. So he likes to hit that corner three. Tyler Harvey just the 2 points at the free throw line. Justin Robertson's hit the 1-3. Sam Froling leading the way with 9, so they're just getting a bunch of different contributors. But the issue I do see with these substitutions, you talk about the continuity getting to a rhythm, Jenna. Okay, it's working right now. If the game stays close and you get to the fourth quarter and it's crunch time, what 5 are you going with that you've seen enough of being like, okay, this is the one that we're having success with? I'm trying to think about it in the first 16 minutes. I don't think I've got a 5 in my head other than Sam Froling.
Has there been a consistent 5 that we've seen a couple of times?
All the stats that we've been working our way through this afternoon, you can get access to all of them via NBL Plus. It's available free. Unlock the ultimate fan experience. Just scan the QR code that was on your screen.
I live on that.
You should.
Yeah, NBL Plus. Like a deep dive. I like, there's a first baskets column, which is nice to see. You see a couple of teams who they really like to feed early.
Baines, they made him a bit of a priority on Friday night against Cairns.
Oh, but too small.
Aaron Baines saying too small. That is going to be correct 99 out of 99 times.
He'd be saying that a lot. Lawrence throw it away.
Substitution.
Are they in a little bit better rhythm in this second quarter, the Bullets? What are you seeing from a Brisbane point of view?
Yeah, I think so. And again, I think they're starting to figure that out now that they've got everybody back. And what will be interesting is Shannon Scott becomes more comfortable once again with this team, and where he's at his best in this lineup is how Justin Schuller tinkles with that. Because again, they're going to have a similar, you talk about their fourth quarter fade outs, I think they've had the same kind of thing where what 5 is going to go well in the crunch. You want Chris Smith out there, but Chris Smith's been playing with the bench the majority of the game, and that's the kind of flip side of it.
And you bring in your offensive guys like your McDaniel and your Norton, but then what offensive punch do you have? Then you're sort of leaving it to Sobey just sort of on his own, but you want people to be around him. So yeah, finding that combination that works for them in that fourth quarter is really important.
We'll just coach together. Sounds like we've got to figure it out.
Gary Clark shooting free throws. Derek Rucker courtside.
And Jenna, this one's for you because you played in far bigger games than I have. With these end of game fade outs, do you think it's a coaching situation, a player situation, or is it kind of case by case, just a group accountability issue?
I think it's case by case, but I think also a lot of teams, when you have that lead in the fourth quarter, you tend to try and protect the lead rather than playing in the way that you were playing that got the lead. And I think once you start protecting it and you're not taking those open shots that you were, say, in the first or second quarter, and I think that's where you can get a bit messed up, and then you have those sloppy turnovers, and then they're running and gunning and getting up and down. And so I think they just need to stick to what was working in the first 3 quarters.
Harvey this time in the opposite corner. We've seen him miss high, low, everywhere in this first half, Tyler Harvey. 0 from 4.
Pay attention, no cutters.
Justin Taylor, he's talking about that cut from Mitch Norton. And there's a baseline drive. You can't just turn and look at the ball. Make sure you see where everybody is.
Brisbane, 6 wins, 7 losses coming into today. Around that play-in area, Zakarski rolls to the basket. What would success be for Brisbane? I guess jumping ahead to the end of the year, does the season, do they need to make the play-in or playoffs for it to be a successful season? Well, look, or could they just miss and it still be a success?
They only have 3 wins so far, but they've played 10 games.
Talking
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Illawarra. Yeah, no, I think 100%. What Justin Schuler's figured out is that if we get to playing, then all of a sudden you roll everything back. If we're playing the best basketball, then who's to say we can't make the championship series? And then again, it's just like you've just got to beat the team 3 times. I know it's easier said than done, but anything can happen. It's just about stringing things together. They're already, it's night and day compared to last year, isn't it? I mean, we've seen them at their best. We've also seen some not so good areas, but that's all about what the early season is.
Sobey, only 2 points in the first half so far. Justin Schuler made the call, get downhill, and that's exactly what he does.
Push him in the back, grade 3, hand in the back.
There is the great Leroy Loggins in the crowd. I think he's been at just about every Brisbane game this year, which is fantastic.
That flannel looks great on him, doesn't it? I love a good flannel.
Anything would look good on Leroy. Inspired a generation of lefties.
It's interesting. On one side, we've got greatness in a green flannel. On the other side, we've got greatness in a white blazer. There's a bit of a contrast going on. A Sunday afternoon in this arena, isn't there?
White blazer with a Powerade stain in it, evidently. So he pushes Brisbane out to a 6-point lead.
Oh, boy.
Wanjung Lee wide open.
That is a layup in transition.
That was awesome. Just kick, kick, kick. Open 3 to your 3-point shooter. That's beautiful.
On the flip side, that's going to be on an edit tomorrow for Justin Schuler off a free throw. That cannot happen. That's as bad as a layup because, to be honest, Wanjung Lee's 2 of 2. That is a layup for him in the corner.
Deep from Gary Clark, but the finish from Sam McDaniel just that little bit better. Again, Illawarra scream up the other end of the floor with Justin Robinson.
Justin Schuler setting up. Yeah, absolutely. Their defensive transition is just not there.
2 layups in a row, off scores.
That one off the free throw just cannot happen, and then Justin Robinson didn't really put the Jets on. We know how quick he can be with the ball. Just slowly went about it, turned the corner, and got a layup.
3 points the difference, and full credit to the Hawks here, Jenna. They keep throwing different things at Brisbane that have kind of got them out of shape a little bit at times.
Yeah, they're junking it up on the defensive end, and it can get you a bit off kilter with what you're used to. You kind of get into that rhythm on the offensive end, and they're pushing in transition. And yeah, they were 2 great offensive sets for the Hawks.
We've spoken about Brisbane's improvement this season, and certainly that shows in some of the awards. Pete, this is something you keep a very close eye on NBL.com.au. They've got contenders in pretty much every category right now, the Bullets.
Oh, absolutely. And again, where to start on that? I mean, Chris Smith is going to be in that conversation for 6th man. The eligibility, he's probably one that you can probably lock in to be eligible. It doesn't think that's going to change for him. He's really relishing this role. Josh Bannon, I missed him in my Next Gen Award in my latest one, and I think it was...
I saw a bit of feedback.
He was injured early, and you're right, absolutely he's in that conversation. And that eligibility is just under 25 by April of the concluding season that you're playing in, and it opens up the door for a lot. I mean, Nathan Sobey, we've seen how good he has been early in this season. He's had a bit of a slow patch, but again, if Brisbane are going to finish in the top 5, if they're going to get in there and have a say, it's going to be on the back of that kind of season from Nathan Sobey. And don't discount Justin Schuler as in that Coach of the Year. You talk about, it's always more attractive to see when you come from a poor year as not just a team, as a club, to having some success in the following year. That's always going to be looked at very fondly. He's done a terrific job.
Sam McDaniel's the other one in that discussion there. He's there unsuccessful. Zakarski using his leg to his advantage. Will be on the line, but Sam McDaniel defensively, Jenna, has really given Brisbane something this season.
Yeah, and that's exactly why Justin Schuler went after him. He wasn't getting minutes at the Jackies, and so, you know, Schuler said, come up here, and he's a defensive guy, and yeah, he's been great for the Bullets, and I think him and Norton together in that backcourt is just a very exciting defensive lineup that Justin Schuler can put out on the floor.
They're a great combination because they're 2 very different styles of defense. You talk about off the ball Sam McDaniel is very Bull Qual-esque in terms of there's a lot of physicality. Some of it may cross the line and being a bit illegal at times, but you get away with it when you don't just flick a switch. When that's the way that you play all the time, you get away with a whole lot more, although Bull Qual maybe not getting away with as much of late. But then Mitch Norton is the Shea Ili type where, okay, I'm just going to not get screened, I'm going to throw my body in front of everyone, I'm not going to foul and make everything hard and contest.
Nice move from Lockie Albrecht. And Zakarski had a hand on the play. Illawarra still in possession. Shot clock down to 9. Robinson used that Albrecht screen and was short. And foul on Shannon Scott.
2 shots, guys. Here we go, fill in, please.
Brisbane over the limits, and Illawarra will be on the line.
Right now, the biggest thing hurting the Bullets. Bullets are 4 of 14 from the free throw line. If this was an away game, Hungry Jacks are in trouble.
I feel like they've been the best free throw shooting team prior to this game, percentage-wise. So that's surprising.
Karski 1 of 4. Mitch Norton 0 of 4.
There's been a few teams that post-FIBA break have had some free throw shooting issues this weekend.
They're just hitting UFC mats too much in there. Oh boy.
Smith's pass knocked down by Lee, and again Illawarra happy to explore early in the shot clock. Swankala Bullock this time puts them in front.
Defensive transition is an issue right now for Brisbane.
They've scored the last 6, the Hawks. Taking some good momentum into the main break. Here's the Harvey Norman replay.
It's just, I mean, DJ Mitchell's got to be better there. You close out and you're kind of just expecting them to hold it because the time on the clock's running down. Wasn't in a stance on the closeout, running off the three-point line. And if that's winding Swankala Bullock, you close out with a hand, and if he shoots it over your hand, shake his hand and go down the other end.
I think it goes before that, though. They've got to pick the ball up earlier. Robinson can get completely downhill and just pass it to whoever he wants. You've got to pick up the ball, slow it down, and then you can set up behind.
Right where I'm standing right now. Shannon.
Just checking the clock.
Let's go, guys.
Honjung Lee sits down.
9 points in 6 minutes, hasn't missed a shot.
Here we go, ready, guys.
Just got a nice steal. Let's sit him down.
Did get put in his lap.
Had to be in the right position. Come on now.
True, true.
Shot clock switched off. Brisbane again in possession. Late in the quarter. Shannon Scott all the way in and scores. Classy veteran finish from Shannon Scott puts the Brisbane Bullets back in front by 1 at halftime. This game is an arm wrestle right now.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. Defensively, I think that right there is what's hurt the Hawks, just straight line drives. And for the flip side, we keep talking about it for Brisbane, just their transition defense is what's really let them down. So both teams will be going to halftime wanting to talk about that, and basically got a whole new ball game in the second half.
Let's get down to Derek Rucker.
Here with Shannon Scott. Entertaining first half, a lot of points from the Hawks, but you guys go in with a 1-point lead. How are you feeling about that first half?
In our defense, we got to get back better. They're pushing the ball right now, and we're just kind of settling, just jogging back. So we got to go back over there and contain the 3-point shots.
You personally are looking good out there. How's the hamstring recovered? Obviously, you're going to be a key piece if this team is to make a deep playoff run.
Yeah, it means getting better. But I take it each and every day, just step by step. Don't want to think about it while I'm playing. Just want to go out there and just have fun.
Second half keys.
Get back on defense, stop those early shots for them, and just contain the ball.
All right, Shannon.
50-49 at Nissan Arena. Good game for Sunday Hoops, the final one of round number 9. We are back with the halftime show on the other side of this.
Supporting people with disabilities of all ages, taking them to community-based activities like the basketball today. For more information, please head to their website or follow them on socials @OneAbility. Today we are celebrating International Day of People with Disabilities, so please join me in welcoming the teams on court. Someone a bucket hop. All right, the little fella's off. He is off, and no one's going to catch him. Hey, 2 points. Here we go again. All right, throw it in, throw it in. Oh, here we go. Find some of the pass through. That's it. Oh, over the top. All right, Nashie and Georgia are courtside. What can you tell us, guys?
Her best friend is a Google Calendar. She knows all about schedules. I'm talking about Georgia, the community programs manager. Every Bullets home game likes to talk to her and find out what's going on outside of Bullets games. And Georgia, this is the part where you tell us everything that's happening.
Thank you. So as you can see, we've got one ability group here. They're doing an amazing job playing off on the court. So make sure you check them out. But upcoming holidays, so it's a Thursday and summer yesterday on day 4, I believe. So we also want to get sorted. We've got 3 camps of 2 weeks of camps in December and 2 weeks of camp in January. So we have our Big Shots camp, which is our beginner friendly camp, kids aged 5 to 11. We have our development camp, which is under 13.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Is that right there? That sounded like he was trying to get in.
I hate birds too. Crows and magpies.
Yeah.
I hate them all.
Smith pulls the trigger. It goes!
I'm from Sacramento, California. This is my 8th year pro. Started my journey in Europe, then moved away to Japan, and now I'm in Australia. This is my first country where I can speak English to people, so this is something new. I just had a baby. Man, it's amazing. This is my 2nd child, but having it all over again, the process, it's an amazing feeling, but it's also very stressful at times, but it's all worth it at the end.
It's been one hell of a night for Chris Smith, and it continues.
The competition of the NBL, I mean, everyone knows the competition here is very good and lives up to its reputation. I try my best to be as consistent as possible, and my shooting and all around everything. I feel like that's gonna pay off.
Need to go quick. Smith makes it! It's game! Unreal! Cometh the hour, cometh the man, Chris Smith.
We really go after each other in practice. More than any other team I've probably played professional. We're hungry for it. I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's a little bit of the story of Chris Smith and how he found his way to the Hungry Jacks NBL. Shot 45% out of college. Everywhere he's gone since then, he's got a reputation as being an elite outside shooter.
We're starting to see that now, aren't we, the last couple of games, and we mentioned it during the broadcast. It took him a while just to figure out his role and I guess figure out the league, which it makes sense. It happens to a lot of new players that come in, and geez, he's starting to really shine now, and it's great to see.
And he looks so confident, Jenna. As we take a look at his Hungry Jacks halftime highlights, they're doing a good job, Brisbane, of getting him open, and he's doing a better job of locking them away.
He really is. He moves well with the ball, and his shot is sweet. When it goes up, you say it's a layup. It's swish every time, and that doesn't even look like missing. So Hawks need to do a better job of denying him, pushing him off the three-point line and trying to get him to put the ball on the floor.
Can it take a little while to get confident when you come to a new league like this?
Yeah, for sure. Every league you go and play in, it's completely different. So I think he's found his niche here, coming off the bench for the Bullets and just being that sniper for them, and 4 or 7 from the field and 4 or 6 on the three-point line. It's pretty impressive to start this first half.
You can see those 4 threes on the Blackmore shot chart, and give a lot of credit to Justin Schuller as well for putting him to the bench. But you see the plays they run for him. He seems like he doesn't just like to catch and shoot. He likes to be on the move a little bit, which I think we thought differently watching back in the Blitz. And he likes to go from a left-right to the stride stop and lean into it, and that's really helped fire him up.
Speaking of fired up, the Hawks are certainly fired up under interim coach Justin Tatum at the moment, and a lot of it is being led by Sam Froling. Has 9 points again at the half and came in ultra aggressive to start this game today.
Yeah, so him putting on the ball on the floor there against Tyrell Harrison, and he started super aggressive, and it's so great to see because we all want Sam to be great, and yeah, he had a great first half, and looking forward to seeing him continue that in the second half because that's what we need to see, that consistency from him.
He's found a matchup that he likes, Pete. You spoke about this during the game.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, to be honest, all their bigs, I think he thinks he's got a mismatch or knows he has a mismatch putting the ball on the floor. His ability to finish with both hands and get downhill, and they put him in the high post and he's had success. So we didn't see it too much in the back end of that second quarter, so we'll see how they start the third quarter.
Derek Rucker's courtside at Nissan Arena for us this afternoon in a very, very white jacket, Ruck, it must be said. What have you made of the first half?
Well, guys, sometimes the game is quite simple, and in this one, the difference is free throws. The Bullets are 4-14 from the line. Granted, they weren't going to make all of those free throws, but if they made 8 more free throws, well, then they've got a nice little lead, and we know every point is going to matter as we come down the stretch in this second half. The Hawks look outstanding. They're moving the ball well. They're energized. They're getting contributions from the right people. I'm real keen to see which team comes out of the locker room really energized and ready to take control of this game.
Ruck, do we think it's sustainable? I counted up 20 substitutions made from the Hawks in that first half. Is it sustainable to come away with a win doing it like that?
Well, Jenna, if you and I were playing, we probably would have been like, hey, yo, coach, we need to have a word because I'm putting a cease and desist on this. Get those other 4 cats, but D-Ruck is staying in the game.
I have a question for you, Ruck. I know you spoke about the free throws, but the Bullets are shooting 62% from the field, 50% from the three-point line. Is that sustainable in the second half to get this win?
I believe it is because I think they feel confident, Jenna. There's a new level of belief in this Bullets organization and in this team. Granted, 62% to continue at that rate would be exceptional. But look, I think it can be done. They're not turning the ball over. They're using the ball really well. I think this has been one of their best offensive games in 2 or 3 years.
Just got a text from your great mate, Damon Lowry, as well, Derek. He wants to know if you're performing at halftime or where's the rest of the band in that white jacket?
Look, I don't really like that guy. So as little contact and communication I have with Damon, the better.
He had to throw little in there, didn't he?
It's a 1-point lead at halftime. The Bullets 50, the Hawks 49. Stick with us the second half. He's coming up next from Nissan Arena.
The Brisbane Bullets Development Holiday Camps offer an excellent opportunity to refine your skills during the upcoming school holidays. These programs are available across Southeast Queensland. Register now by visiting the Brisbane Bullets website and accessing the Community tab for additional information. Or send us an email, community@brisbanebullets.com.au. When you get that holiday pass, you could use it for our next home game. It's on December 17th. We take on the Taipans. It's going to be an epic rumble. 3 p.m. tip-off. Get your tickets, brisbanebullets.com.au. forget, we have got the signing session post-game. Entry to the court will be from the non-player bench side. So make sure you've got your merch and something to get signed. Come and meet your Brisbane Bullets heroes. Let's have a look. Have we got anyone in the crowd? Hey, how you doing? Hey, you're on, yes? What are you punching on? Hey, give us a wave. Well, 45 seconds till the second half. Get to your seats. Time to get wild, Brisbane. It's time to fire up. It's a 1-point game still. We have got to pull away from these Hawkies.
Great to have your company for Sunday afternoon hoops. It's the Brisbane Bullets and the Illawarra Hawks at Nissan Arena. Third quarter about to get underway. Genero Hay, Pete Hooley, Jack Heverin and Derek Rucker, your Sunday call team. And earlier this afternoon, the Cairns Taipans pulling off a huge victory, Pete, knocking off Melbourne United 115-103 at John Cain Arena.
Yeah, surprising, yes, but I'm not completely shocked because I do have... I'm a little high on the Cairns Taipans when they're at full strength. They made a couple of significant changes, which I'm sure everybody will break down. And Melbourne, I think they're due a couple of losses in the next few weeks. And if you're a team like Brisbane, you want to keep seeing them rack up from teams above you, and you just want to keep ticking over wins yourself. But it makes these games, the games you're meant to win at, especially at home, that much more important.
It's always funny out of the fever break, Jenna. There's always one or two surprises.
Always. Those 2 weeks of training, each team takes that break really differently. Some have time off, some train super hard. You know, the Hawks haven't played until the Sunday. Brisbane have already played a game, so everyone's coming off different, training schedules, breaks, and it's always a funny one to come back to.
And I'm probably going to be in the minority here, but that's why I love the fever break. One, you get to refresh a lot of the bodies, both mentally and physically, because the way things were going, I mean, we're missing some significant pieces, and players are out here and there, and you end up missing superstars in nearly every single game in a round, and teams aren't at full strength. Everybody, other than the long-term injuries, managed to get healthy, and players come back, and then you see, I call them upsets, but this is all we want, an ultra-competitive league, and anyone can beat anyone on any given night. I'd also love some basketball if the Fever wants to put some more games on.
It'd be nice, wouldn't it? Yeah.
I did miss the NBL for those 2 weeks.
Or an all-star game, either or.
Now we're starting to talk. There's an offensive foul against Brisbane. DJ Mitchell found himself in a couple of these tricky situations on Friday, and again today, he's caught giving away an offensive foul.
Well, he's just out of position. Yeah, I mean, as soon as you don't get this ball from Nathan Sobey, I mean, he's just like, okay, I'm trying to get out and just ran into Justin Robinson, who did his best to sell it, but it's unfortunate because I think DJ Mitchell was expecting that ball from Sobey. You also got to understand who Nathan Sobey is and probably just run to the corner straight away. Let Nathan Sobey bring the ball up with his speed and athleticism.
Tyler Harvey with his first field goal of the game.
Hopefully that's some confidence for him and he can start to get rolling, because if the Hawks want to win this, we need Tyler Harvey scoring.
Mitchell dumps that inside. He's fine for Tyrell Harrison, another who probably needs to get going a bit more in this second half.
Just the 6 points, a couple of rebounds, and timed that well because that was very close to a 3-second violation, which you hear from the referee. And Tyler Harvey tries to get another one to go. That's no good.
A minute and a half gone in this third quarter. Sobey with a hand in the face. He's fouled.
Foul on the 3-point shooter, number
I'm always interested here because, I mean, it didn't look like a whole lot, but Tyler Harvey didn't really ask for a review of anything because so he knows that he just clipped him enough. The referee was right there and saw it. Chris Smith getting a little breather right now.
Tyler Harvey's an interesting one. Out of contract, signed a 3-year deal. This is the last year of that contract. Still a lot to go down, obviously, this season and in the future for Illawarra. How do you think that all shakes out?
The one thing to watch with that whole situation is his citizenship. Now, I'm not sure if he's put it in place of lodging for it or any of that, but I do believe that it's on the horizon, his plans to look at doing that. He stayed around a lot longer, he hasn't really gone home. I mean, he had some stints going home, but normally we see those imports that end up naturalising, they go home or go play in the off-season. I managed to see him in Noosa last year in the off-season, just walking around, but he loves Australia, so I'm not sure where that's at or if he's really started to move forward with that. But if he has, I mean, that changes that landscape completely, doesn't it?
Well, if he's having holidays in Noosa, Jenna, we may as well call him an Australian citizen, because that's pretty much what everyone does.
It's my favourite holiday destination in Australia.
Sobey trying to get downhill. Robinson screaming out for help. He knows he needs it.
Now, there's a 3-second violation coming. One of these next two players with Harrison, because he's been camping in there an awful long time. But for the time being, he'll take the 2 points. Wasn't conventional, but he'll take it.
I'm just so happy to see him on the floor. I know you said earlier that he's playing his 100th game, which I'm really surprised in because he has missed a lot of games through injury. And now we're seeing, once he's healthy and he's spending significant time on the court, this is what he's capable of, and he's a great player, and I'm just so excited to see him back on the court. And what a great drive by Sam Crowley. He loves that matchup with Harrison, Tyrell Harrison. He's just going at him every time.
And of course, as you were hyping off Harrison, Jenna, why are you jumping for joy at Sam Crowley out there on the 3-point line? Just carry a hand. I know Sam Crowley, I think he's shooting 73% or something from outside. Doesn't take a whole lot of it.
It's a very small sample size.
It is, so there's no need to be jumping like he's Steph Curry out there.
Bullets lead by 5. Bowling wide open up top. Thought about it. Trying to work his way in on Harrison. Great D. And no foul on Brisbane.
Here's my conundrum with Sam Crowley. If you have a look at the Harvey Norman replay here from Harrison. So this was after a couple of different fumbles. We got there, a nice little spin move with a bit of what Sam Crowley's been doing to him, and then there is no need to jump for joy at that. Just carry a hand. But so Sam Crowley gets that play. He's had multiple of that. They run it the same set basically. He had the ball in a similar spot, maybe another step towards the middle of the key, and he was looking to pass. He was trying to get Gary Clark the ball in the block. Sam Crowley, I wanted in his head, okay, I just scored. I want the ball back. I'm going at Tyler Harrison. He can't stop me right now. That's just the mindset that I want to see him in.
AJ Johnson back into the game. He's following the handoff to Harvey. The floater doesn't go. Tyler Harvey, 1 of 7 for the afternoon now. And Chris Smith all the way in at the other end. Timeout Illawarra. As good as they have been, Brisbane are starting to find the edge in this third quarter.
Yeah, a bit of taste of their own medicine. It was Brisbane's defensive transition that struggled, especially in the second quarter. And right now it's been the Hawks, just no one picking anybody up, and it's Nathan Sobey getting the rebound and pushing it. Good things are happening.
Derek Rucker courtside.
Well, guys, that's what I talked about at the halftime break. Which team was going to come out in this first 5 minutes of the second half, and clearly it's the Bullets. They're much more energized on defense. They're on a 10-4 run, and Tyrell Harrison has really been the spearhead of this. Sam Froling is really having a tough time containing him on the other end. Matter of fact, I think Harrison's having a tough time containing Froling also. So, which leads me to another point with the positionless basketball being as part of the all-NBL team. I wasn't really sure what I thought of it, and Alice Koenig brought up a good point about she thinks bigs are going to be more inclined to have a better opportunity to make this team, contrary to what most of us experts thought. And I kind of tend to agree now, especially with shooting so bad from the three-point league from the three-point line in our league. Hools, I think it really does open it up for more bigs and more bigger threes to feature in that team.
Well, I was the same. I thought maybe we go 2 guards, 2 forwards and a centre, but I'm going to put a lot of trust in the coaches and captains who vote for that I think that they are going to be trying to vote on that kind of positional team, and not necessarily 1 point guard, 1 shooting guard, but I think that they might. And you actually look at I think it's the recent history in the EuroLeague. Forwards and bigs have been favoured more than the guards. So, again, time will tell. We'll give it a couple of years, and if the coaches and captains want to do wrong, then maybe we'll just take the voting off them. Can we do that?
What do you think, Jenna, during the week when that was announced?
Oh, I wasn't a huge fan. I think as much as we have our sort of combo guards and a lot more versatile players, I think a team is a team, and you have guards, you have bigs. I was more thinking a guard opposed to centre and maybe 2 wild cards, if that's the way that you're wanting to go.
Yeah, that was my initial reaction to it. That's an offensive foul on Sam Froling and it's Chris Smith. Chris Smith, I'm not sure, I've seen that before. Chris Smith gets a flop warning in the same play as he also gets an offensive foul.
Late warning, Blue.
Isn't he in the charge circle?
I think it's more the elbow one, so it doesn't matter in that.
on Smith for the last part of that play. About 10 seconds earlier, we went over.
Sam Froling has to look at the referee who's giving a flop warning to the guy who just got an offensive foul called on him. But back to the point, Jenna, and you're talking about, I really do think the coaches and captains are going to vote for the right players to be in it. I'm really excited to see how it works out. And the one thing I think we can all agree on is a change needed to be made. We looked at it last year and just the way that it was set up at the time. And basketball is changing. NBA will be like that in 24, 25, I believe. They'll be doing the same as EuroLeague in the NBL, the copycats.
AJ Johnson for Lockie Albert. Hawks down to single figures on the shot clock and running out of time and running out of ideas. Albrecht for 3. One jump lead, great hustle. Didn't give up on that ball.
He's played great minutes in this game today. I would like to see him on the floor a little bit more, running those plays for him to get open on the 3-point line, and then, yeah, that's a great offensive rebound and getting involved there.
Another substitution here for the Hawks, and as I mentioned at halftime, it looks like Youngjoong Lee might have a missed contact. Let's get that flush. 20 substitutions made from Illawarra in the first half. And that doesn't include, I think, 3 players came in at the start of the second quarter. So you want to add that up as well. It was very ice hockey-like. So it seemed to work for them, and they brought in fresh bodies. But what happens when we get to the crunch? Is that just going to continue, or is there going to be a 5 that Justin Tatum feels confident enough to get the job done?
And I'm starting to wonder if this style of play is suiting a Tyler Harvey. I don't think he's renowned for his defensive pressure, his defensive effort. If he's exerting more on the defensive end, is this why he's shooting the 1 of 7 that he is this game? I'd like to see him more involved, but, you know, you can't get rhythm from the 3-point line when you're not getting open shots. And, yeah, he's obviously exerting a lot more defensively, which I don't think he's used to in the first 2 seasons that he's had in the NBL.
Do you think Justin Robinson kind of falls into that category a little bit as well?
Exactly. So, you know, that's the give and take that the coach has to work with, and he's trying to find those lineups, as Fully was speaking about, that works best for him. If he wants that defensive pressure, those guys might be on the bench, but then who's your scoring punch? Who are you going to get that from?
AJ Johnson tees off.
It just seems like it's a collective effort right now, isn't it? I mean, they're clearly making a focal point of Sam Froling and Gary Clark as Baines tees one up. But besides that, it's just going to be, okay, if you're on the floor, we're trying to get it and run, and if you're open, shoot the ball. And just bring energy on the defensive end, and let's try and spark some things.
4:13 remaining in this third quarter. Isaac White, Shannon Scott, Aaron Baines, Sam McDaniel, Chris Smith out there for Brisbane. Justin Robinson, Gary Clark, Wani Swaka-Labullock, Todd Blanchfield, and Lockie Albrecht for the Hawks. White gave them some nice punch off the bench on Friday. Not that time, though. It's nothing but fresh Queensland air. down to Gary Clark. He gets to a nice spot. Turnaround jumper is good.
Good patience there from Clark and the Hawks. And right now, I'd like to see Shannon Scott just set up some play calls. He's got two shooters. He's got this man right here, and he's got Isaac White. So just kind of set up some plays to, whether it's to a pick and roll to get Baines down low or run something for the shooters and really take over in that, setting up the offense.
And as he spoke about at halftime, he prefers off the movement. That was more the catch and shoot one. So if you can get him coming off some screens and have that rhythm and momentum going up into his three-point shot, I think that works better for him.
Robinson with his feet set. Illawarra now 5 of 23 for the afternoon. Inside.
And it makes complete sense watching Chris Smith the last few games compared to when he struggled at the start of the season. And kind of joked with him way back in the Blitz about if there was a three-point contest or an all-star weekend, which hopefully he's back sooner rather than later. Sam McDaniel knocks one down from the wing. Normally he's a few steps down to the corner. How would you think he went? And he didn't like it. That's not the way he likes to just pick it off a rack and shoot. Obviously, he's a bit of a slower release, but clearly he likes to step into it on the move.
Clark spins, draws a foul. He's causing a few problems for the Bullets. Derek Rucker courtside.
I saw Steve Kerr make some comments about game experience, and geez, in here right now, it does feel like a nightclub. I'm about to shift into another mindset if they don't switch the music up.
You're dressed for it, big fella. You ready to roll?
Look here, the great Leroy Loggins just stopped by and said he feels uneasy about this lead because he feels like the Bullets are just letting Illawarra hang around. And Leroy said he really likes what Illawarra's doing. He thinks they're playing with a lot of confidence.
He also said he wasn't a fan of the white jacket.
Peter, can you leave me alone now?
I think you look great, mate.
It is about that time of the game where we probably do need to start talking about Brisbane and taking care of leads and seeing games out, isn't it?
And again, though, we keep talking about lineups. Like a broken record, especially in this game because of Illawarra as well. But if you're Justin Schull, I mean, Nathan Sober's going to be out there and Sam McDaniel.
He's coming around the right side.
But he's never allowed.
Baines with a shiner from Friday night.
Jersey call a foul enough. But if we're trying to get around and call a jersey,
An offensive foul.
He's holding on the right side.
they hold it.
Yes, that's why I'll let it play. I see what you see, so we're good.
Let's have another look
Don't
here.
let it play, I'd rather you call it.
All good.
So that's the offensive
That
foul.
was the elbow.
Bit of bear hugging going on before that could have been
Yeah, and
a foul.
you can hear the referee basically saying that hugging was going on from the other side of the floor until Baines got set up on that side of the post. But just based on that replay, you could probably think, oh, it might get whistled early. But the referee said he let it go because it was happening from both ways until they got set up in the post.
For the basket and slams it down. Lockie Albrecht.
It's been unassuming, wasn't it?
It really was. Where did that come from?
It's a young man with a lot of talent.
Young fella got on his poster.
Sure did. The Hawks starting to build a bit of momentum as we head towards three-quarter time. Here he is again. Floater rims out.
So I'm talking about Tyler Harvey. So Tyler Harvey's 1 of 7, Justin Robinson 2 of 5. Nathan Sobey just 1 of 4 from the field. 4 field goal attempts. Granted, he has had 5 free throws, but it's just unheard of.
Lee was open for a while.
Oh, here we go.
Didn't get his shot away. He was fouled by Zakarski.
I'm not sure about this. There's the Harvey Norman replay. Lockie Albrecht just getting upstairs.
Guys, line up. We got 2 here. Go. Line up, fellas.
Oh, almost. This is Zakarski on Lee. Oh, boy.
Fans at Nissan Arena have just seen the same replay. Not too pleased.
There was no talk about a challenge there. I mean, all the players seemed confident. Rocco was pointing up to the screen. And I think that might just be Justin Schuller realising, what am I actually going to save here? Okay, it's 2 points, and it's a foul on Zakarski, who's probably not going to be finishing the game for us. Is it worth potentially burning one?
Yep.
Or do I need one in the clutch?
These 4 points separates these two teams. Harrison to the rack. Challenged by Olbrich.
And just as Ruck said, that Leroy wasn't feeling comfortable at the lead, and, you know, the Hawks are just hanging around, back to 4 points.
Harvey has not been able to get going this afternoon.
Trying to double team here. Shooter's got to be ready.
It's Lee. Eventually got the 3 ball away.
Probably a little lucky there, Shannon Scott. You've just got to stay home on Lee. Make Justin Robinson shoot that one.
A 7-second differential between the game and shot clock. Sobey, downhill, draws a foul.
You've got to know the scout on Sobey. He's going left every time.
And just like you'd hear Justin Schuller yelling hit, which is a double team in the post. Down the other end was Olbrich versus Sobey. I'd like to see the Hawks. Okay, shot clock's running down. You see Nathan Sobey ready to go. Just someone else running him, make him pass the ball, and everybody rotate. I don't know the way they've been playing.
Oh, there's Charlie Cameron, Brisbane Lions superstar in the crowd this afternoon.
Still hurts as a Crows fan. Still hurts.
You had him and then you lost him.
Bit of a habit of that.
And Sobey. Just 3 of 13 from the field on Friday. And as Pete said, just hasn't seen the amount of attempts that he would have liked in this game.
Yeah, they're up by 6, so working still for the team.
Robinson on the move. That's a tough finish. In the shadows of 3/4 time, Justin Robinson lays it up. And we've got ourselves a 4-point ball game with a quarter to play here at Nissan Arena. 65-61, Brisbane over Illawarra. Stick with us. The end of this one's coming up next in the Hungry Jacks NBL.
The good news is, because you've entered, you could potentially win a cruise next to our friends at Carnival Cruises. Every Bullets home game, scan the QR code in the front zone to go in the draw. How about some noise for Rachel? Well, it's actually close.
Brisbane, it's the 4th quarter. On your feet! It's time to close this one out.
Been tight and tough all afternoon between the Brisbane Bullets and the Illawarra Hawks. 65-61 at 3/4 time. It's been a single-figure game all afternoon. Very little between these two teams right now.
Yeah, Brisbane came out really well at the start of the third quarter, and then we thought they might go away with it, but Illawarra just hung around, and now I've got a 4-point game leading into the fourth quarter. Should be a good one.
And at the risk of repeating ourselves, Pete, but fourth quarters and closing out games have been a significant problem for Brisbane.
Yeah, they have. Things just falling apart, but this is a beautiful set to start things. On to Chris Smith. Hits it downhill. 16 points now for Chris Smith. He's hit 4 of 7 from deep. Talking about Brisbane, their struggles in the fourth quarter, I'm just really interested to see what lineup Illawarra rolls out in the last 5 minutes. They've got 3 of their starters on right now, Robertson, Harvey and Clark.
Olbrich has given them some spark in the back end of the third quarter, and he starts the fourth quarter well.
Really good. Oh, he'll be that big dunk as well with 6 points, a couple of rebounds, a couple of assists.
19 years with age. There's been a lot of people calling for more Lockie Olbrich minutes. And today's performance might justify some of those. Harrison travels.
They've had 10 players play more than 10 minutes right now, Illawarra.
It's generous.
It is. This is what we saw a lot early on, but we can't argue with the fact that they are getting some results. I mean, things have looked good in terms of their energy, and defensively when they've been up and in and trying to get out on the break. They haven't had any long patches of scoreless basketball either, so they're finding ways to tip the scoreboard over.
Robinson from outside, it's good.
That'll help.
That'll definitely help. He's been quiet in the first bit of this game, so if he can have a big fourth quarter, that could be a big catalyst for a Hawks win.
Hawks make it a 1-point game as Justin Robinson goes to 10 points on 4 of 7.
3 players for the Hawks in double figures. That's an offensive foul on Harrison. Lee, Robertson, Sam Froling, and then just the 1 for the Bullets in double figures, and that's Chris Smith at 16 points. So 10 of 21 from the free throw line, which is the worst for wear.
Harrison comes out with his third foul. Derek Rucker.
During that three-quarter break, Justin Schuler really wanted the team to focus on defense. Keep them to 12 points like you did in the third quarter, and we'll win that game. This game, he said. He's got some special plays designed to run in the fourth quarter, but Jenna, one thing he did say, I have 3 timeouts left, so obviously he was not going to burn anything on any questionable challenges in that quarter.
It's interesting, because does that mean he's a bit nervous about fourth quarter, so he needs to stop momentum?
Obviously.
Brisbane coming off a win Friday night. They beat the Taipans by 5, albeit with a few nervous moments late in that game. Sobey on the move. Smith involved in the corner.
Tell you what, Illawarra score here. Don't be surprised if Schuler calls a quick timeout.
It's Robinson who forces Chris Smith into his third foul. Do you talk about it as the opposition when there's a team that have got documented fourth quarter problems like Brisbane? If you're the opposition, do you talk about that?
Absolutely. Every time out that they call for momentum, you are saying they are out of this. This is what they do. So you are constantly talking about that in every time out, in every huddle that you have, to remind yourselves and to get into the opposition's head as well.
67-66 at Nissan Arena.
I think we've got a coach's challenge.
Coach's challenge, yours?
Yeah, it looked like Justin Schuler was thinking about it. As I said, I think he was calling a timeout anyway, because they were going to go to the free throw line. They've started slow in the first couple of minutes, and it's the third foul on Chris Smith, and Justin Robinson goes to the line. So if you're going to call a timeout anyway, and you have, but the problem is, so there's no way Justin Schuler can see from where he's standing.
That's unsuccessful.
Oh.
What you going with, Hulls?
Well, I always get them wrong, but there's not a whole lot in that.
The rest that I've seen this weekend, that is unsuccessful.
Like, he gets him across. I mean, the most contact he makes is with his belly button. What are we calling a belly button foul?
Well, he's touched the body.
It's right there.
Belly button's part of the body.
Right there, and then...
Then he gets arm. Might be soft, but it's there.
Just to point the difference at Nissan Arena, and we've got a coach's challenge.
Yes.
On this last play.
Yeah, it looked like he really wanted to challenge it because third foul on Chris Smith and
After review, the coach's challenge is successful.
I thought it would be
a jump ball in the centre circle.
Yeah, there wasn't a heap in that, and then Justin Robinson spills it. You can see some little contact across the belly button initially, but not enough to make Justin Robinson spill it, and there's really no contact on the arms either. I think that's what the original foul was called on because of the way that it came out of Robinson's hand. So, as I probably thought that Justin Schuller, okay, if they were going to score it all, we would have called a timeout to kind of slow this thing down because they've got off to a tough start, and in the end sees enough to want to challenge it and wins it. So 2 ticks right now.
Good challenge.
You were thinking unsuccessful, Jennifer.
I was, for sure. I feel like every single challenge this round has been unsuccessful. I was going with it.
I am 100% on the fever break.
Good job, Hills, because you're normally 0%.
That's why that will not last until next weekend.
You and Justin Tatum 1-0. Trying to make it 2-0 this afternoon. Baines goes to the left hand.
I like how the timeout that they went to the big fella.
Played for 9 minutes. Baines, 8 points.
Shot clock at 7. Albrecht for 3. He's got it in his game, not that time.
Red, 3, 33.
Miss, and then the foul after that.
And he's probably just got to move off the ball. Either go to the corner or screen away, engage another defender, because Aaron Baines was just sitting there, just watching Gary Clark saying, if you come into the paint, I'm going to help out my defender and just step up and be a brick wall. Mark Albrecht just took 2 steps back, and if you're Aaron Baines, you're like, okay, I can basically guard 2 players at once without having to move. So, still a good look. We know he can hit the 3. Wally Bales checks in for some fourth quarter minutes. Just played the 3 minutes in this game.
Smith off the turnaround. The Hawks have lost 18 of their last 20 away games. Their road record from this season and last has been pretty horrific.
Yeah, that's not great, is it? This win would really help them.
Lucky Albrecht needs a break because he's gassed out there right now. That's a big knockdown. Then the Hawks are in front.
They certainly are.
There'll be a sub there. There's always subs.
They haven't led since the second last bucket before half-time, Illawarra.
You can hear a pin drop in this arena. This is just all too common right now.
Baines, that's a settling basket for Brisbane.
That's a great find by Sobey. That's a tough pass in his left hand and a great finish by Baines.
Which team's going to hold their nerve the most in these last 5 minutes?
Chris, come on!
It's a foul on Brisbane. That's sure they're not too happy with that one.
That's Chris Smith's 3rd foul. Would have been 4. Had that challenge not been successful. And this is where you get very anxious as a coach. You've been in this situation way too many times and you'd like to have to deal with. And you'd like to think, okay, I'm prepared for it now. I figured out what's worked, what hasn't. Let's throw this lineup out there.
Derek Rucker, I'm sensing a bit of nervous energy.
Well, Jack, you're not wrong because I feel it. It's like when you go over a friend's house to meet their new baby and the baby's ugly. That's the way this crowd feels right now. They don't know how to act.
I'm not even going to ask. I've got so many things I want to follow up with. I'm not going to use any of them. Baines gets it back and then had it, lost it.
Geez, you'd hate to be that one family that had Rucker over lately with a newborn, wouldn't you?
Some very nervous friends of Derek Rucker's right now. It's Clark in transition.
It's a technical foul on Aaron Baines for a flop.
Technical foul for why am I challenger?
So the flop warning came to Chris Smith earlier.
Sorry, go.
And that was a tech foul. Justin Schuller saying, can I challenge it?
Let it go down.
They're out, please. Technical foul. One shot here.
So there was already a warning, as you say, Pete, on Chris Smith. Hence the technical foul.
What's there to argue about?
I like it. And to be honest, I think that we talk about the refs coming out of the fever break a lot. It was a bit of news with what Dave Stevenson was saying. I think I'd like to see quicker triggers on some flop technicals. There's enough bad flops out there that I know we saw Chris Smith get the warning, but
that was terrible.
You stamp it out early
Big
enough.
Baines is falling over. Barely breathed on him.
You stamp it out early enough in the game, and then
That was stop.
Yeah, exactly right.
Hawks by 1.
Justin Schuler's probably thankful that you can't challenge that. As Justin Robertson, another 3-ball he's got going here in the fourth. 13 points, 3 of 5.
There goes that man. Exactly what the Hawks need, that scoring punch, because we haven't really had it from anyone else.
They are giving Brisbane something to think about right now. Scott can't score at the other end, and things have gone a little cold for the Bullets all of a sudden. That'll help their cause. Isaac White off to the races at the other end. Good take.
They've still got these matches circled on the calendar. His former club. Before he went down to Tasmania as a replacement player. White run around in a Hawks jersey.
7 points off the bench from Isaac White. Robinson. Not that time. 4 minutes remaining at Nissan Arena. The Bullets looking to go 2-0 for the weekend. Illawarra looking to make it 2 wins in a row under interim coach Justin Tatum. Great pass. White gets backdoor. Scores tied at 73.
That just can't happen defensively because you're there, but you're just not aware. So the issue wasn't the body placement. It was you just think that the pass wasn't going to come.
Here's the Harvey Norman replay. Isaac White getting himself into the right spots at the right times.
Yeah, and this one is what he does so great. He holds in the air and then he watches the defense jump and come down, and then he's able to finish it. He just has such good core strength to be able to finish those shots, and a great back cut, great pass by Tyrell Harrison, and good finish by Isaac White there, and timeout by the Hawks.
9 points for Isaac White, 4 of 6 from the field now, and we speak on behalf of the entire Australian basketball community. We are in a state of mourning today with the sad and unfortunate loss of a man affectionately known as Handy. Nathan Hand has been such a huge figure in Australian basketball. Just a wonderful person who's fought a really difficult fight for a long time, and unfortunately overnight lost that fight.
Yeah, it was an incredible inspiration. And look, if you're a basketball fan that loves to jump on Twitter in the last 4 or 5 years, you would have had a back and forth with him, no doubt. He was super engaging with all of that. Loved his hoops.
There'll be a lot of people watching right now that would have woken up to the news this morning or late last night that would be no doubt struggling with the news. So we're passing our thoughts and our prayers to friends and family involved. The scores are tied at 73. The Hawks are going to need to come back with an answer of their own after Brisbane have scored off their last 2 possessions. Clark with 2 feet in the paint, gets that to drop.
Justin Schuler saying, got to get more active on it. He just wants everybody else to help. Whether it's a dig, whether it's a hand in the passing lane or on the floor, just everybody's got to help everybody on the defensive end.
Scott, it's White involved in the corner. Go deep here from the Hawks. Scott has to fire late in the clock.
What's really interesting to keep an eye on, so Nathan Sobey subbed out with the 5.5 minute mark. Hasn't come back in. I know he's been slow today. He's just got the 7 points, and as I'm talking, he stands up ready to check in. So he's got the 7 points. He's got 6 rebounds, 6 assists. So he's still making some things happen. Just not maybe ticking the scoreboard over on individual level.
Same play for Clark. Not the same result.
If I'm Illawarra, I'm doing, go back to it. I mean, he just missed a layup. That was as easy as you like.
Loose ball falls to Brisbane. Harrison scores. We're going all the way to the end at Nissan Arena.
And And we've got to mention that with that challenge win, there's still 3 timeouts left for Bullets with 2 minutes to go. So any momentum swing that Justin Schuller feels will be a quick timeout.
The final 2 minutes. You can hear Justin Tatum. He's riding every possession on the sidelines. The renewed energy with this Illawarra team. McDaniel in the mid-range. Loves it there.
Sure does. He lives in the mid-range in the corner 3. Puts them up 2. And Nathan Sobey, he's ready to check in. There hasn't been a whistle.
Clark responds at the other end for Illawarra. No good. It'll be a Hawks ball from the baseline.
Gary Clark looks exhausted. Ever since he missed that layup, he is just struggling to get up and down the floor. And the last 2 offensive possessions, you had that contested shot from Tyler Harvey, which he hasn't done too often tonight. And that one right there was a little flare screen, but no screen was really set. So it was a contested 3 for Gary Clark. They get the ball back, but the last 2 offensive sets haven't been great for Illawarra.
Looking for win number 4 of the season, the Hawks. Throwing. Muscle in over the top of Harrison. That rattles out.
The Hawks have had good looks, just, you know, 2 or 3 layups that have just rimmed out, and the Bullets have been able to execute down the other end and get good shots and make those baskets.
Back into the hands of Sobey.
That's going to be a charge. That's a block, so that's going to be Nathan Sobey to the free throw line. Justin Robinson may have just got in front. Justin Tatum might be thinking about it.
This one could be worth a look.
Absolutely. So I think you hear some people saying, just use it. So have another look at it. He gets beat. Oh.
Is it a push from behind, or is it the block?
Either way, no challenge coming from the Hawks.
But you mentioned back to the Illawarra, their good looks, Jenna. So Gary Clark scored right on the one next to the rim. Nathan Sobey missed another free throw. 10 of 22.
It's now contagious. Nathan Sobey's a 91% free throw shooter this season.
So then when Gary Clark missed a layup, poor shot, somewhat poor shot, missed a layup. So I've been around the mark, but right now, this is crucial. Just get a really good set. And to be honest, I want the ball in Gary Clark's hands.
That's where they head. The double comes. Shannon Scott, good defensive play.
Got all ball there. He did come from behind you and he got all ball. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Who's got him? Red ball, let's go.
Hawks from the baseline. Shooters everywhere on the floor for Illawarra. Here's one of them. Harvey blocked. Sobey came flying in with a huge defensive play.
Not in my house.
That is just supreme athleticism. Tyler Harvey's so good at getting the shot fake, getting a player up in the air, but not there. Nathan Sobey just sends that a few rows back. Still 9 seconds left on the shot clock. How often do we see Tyler Harvey let a defender fly by, take a step back 3? The Sam Froling checks out of the game. 46 seconds to go.
Illawarra trail by 3. Shot clock down to 5. Harvey wide open this time. Rattles out. Offensive rebound by Lee. Hawks can reset as Clark spins and scores. 1-point game, timeout, Brisbane.
Great possession by Lee to get that offensive rebound, kick it back out, find a good shot for Clark.
It's been really good, Youngjohn Lee. 10 points, 2 offensive rebounds, 6 rebounds overall, but that right there, none bigger. Just tell me how to get an extra possession because they were hunting a 3. There was so much time left, there still is. You didn't need a 3. They got a pretty good look from Tyler Harvey. In the end, Gary Clark gets downhill for his 13th point. And all of a sudden, just one really solid defensive possession away from having a chance to win it.
78-77, Derek Rucker courtside.
And yeah, Pete, you're right, but it's a tricky time on the clock with 30.5 seconds left. Say the Bullets shoot the ball with 22 seconds into it, leaving about 8 on the clock. You really got to push hard here. So I would even be inclined, if I was Illawarra, depending on where the Bullets take the ball inbounds, to form some type of trap, maybe 1 trap, 2 trap, to see if you can get that ball loose. But you want to try and generate some disruption in this Bullets lineup. And of course, we don't need to mention that there might be some nerves here with the Brisbane Tide.
100%. You try and force a turnover, but if there's anything, straight line drive, do it legally and send them to the free throw line. They're 11 of 23 from the line. Talk about nerves just in the whole situation. You throw a couple of people to the free throw line who have struggled to shoot so far tonight. Sobey 6 of 9. Tyra Harrison 2 of 4. They're the only 2 players on the floor who've been to the free throw line. Wiley Bales checks in. Swakala Bullock. A bit of a defensive unit out there.
Nissan Arena on their feet. Very important possession here for the home team. Smith surveys his options. Scott in the corner. Now it's Illawarra's turn.
Plenty of time. Who wants it?
Tyler Harvey, normally the hero in this situation. Not on the floor. They turn to Gary Clark. Blocked by Harrison. Big defensive possession by Brisbane. There's a late foul.
I think it was after the siren. They're going to check him, and it looked like it's game over.
Can we just check if that foul happened after time expired?
I think it's game over.
They're just confirming when this foul happened.
It's an exceptional wall-up from Harrison.
Rocco could learn a lot from Harrison
100%.
with that wall-up. That was brilliant defense. Didn't foul, got hands on the ball.
Game, set, match. The Bullets survive another close one and go 2-0 on the weekend.
Well, it is becoming a problem, their fourth quarters, but in the end, what a stance from Tyra Harrison just to go straight up and not come down at all and send it to the free throw line. But to be honest, if you were right, it was really nonchalant after they came down with that rebound. It just looked like they didn't have anything set up, and you want to go as quick as you can, because if you do miss, you want to have enough time to send someone to the free throw line and extend the game. And there's our full locker player of the game, Chris Smith, 16 points, instant offense off the bench, and quieting down a little bit in the second half, but he's really found his groove in NBL24.
Brisbane now have got themselves very firmly, Jenna, in the play-in calculations as it stands.
They really have, and we spoke pre-game that we hope that Moz is gone from them and they've been able to secure 2 close wins. So that habit of winning is starting to come for this club, and that's really great news for them, and they'll start to get rolling now.
5 points on Friday night against Cairns, 1 point this afternoon against the Illawarra Hawks.
Hey, way to catch that check. Good shit, fellas. Hey, we keep going. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3.
Happy with that win. With a couple of big games coming up, the Brisbane Bullets successful on their home floor this afternoon. We're back to wrap it up on the other side of this.
Instrumental part of our club. Your commitment to excellence fuels our team's success, and we are proud to have you by our side. Thank you for being the driving force behind our journey. Together, we rise to new heights.
Sunshine State.
Make sure you're here at our next home game, December 17th against the Cairns Taipans. We'll be in our DC uniforms. The Blue Beetles will be out. Make sure you're here for that one. Get your tickets at brisbanebullets.com.au. Post-game interview coming up very shortly with Susie. Post-game signing session coming up after that. The Champions Lounge will come out first and then we will allow you onto the court. We will be trying to move people through the lines as quickly as possible. So please, it's just one item for a signature, a quick photo, and then we move on to the next person. We want everybody to have an opportunity to get through all of the players, or as many of them as possible. And no food or drink or stiletto shoes on the court, please.
It seems as though the Brisbane Bullets like to do things the hard way. That was the case again this afternoon. Winners 78-77 over the Illawarra Hawks. Chris Smith had another fantastic afternoon at the office. 16 points, I should say, on 6 of 12 from the field.
Yeah, he was brilliant. He shot the three really well in the first half, and then in the second half it felt like the Hawks were running off the line, but he was able to put the ball on the floor and right here in transition and finish in the paint, and yeah, he was brilliant all game.
They normally say they don't ask you how you win, just if you won, but we're starting to ask the question about how the Brisbane Bullets win. It is becoming an issue in the fourth quarter, but it doesn't matter. It's another win. You try and live to fight another day and continue to build towards the end of the season, and yeah, they do have to figure out that fourth quarter, don't they?
Yeah, it's they're finding ways, I guess. That's the positive, as you said, Jenna, that they won 2 close ones in a row now. That's something to take away from today.
Yeah, and they can take a lot of confidence from that. I think they, offensively, their efficiency was really good. They shot 50% from the field. They shot 39% from the three-point line. Free throws is something they'll have to work on this week leading into next round. But, yeah, I think there's a lot of positives for the Brisbane Bullets this weekend.
They've got a big game coming up next Sunday when they travel to Melbourne to play United. The round starts on Thursday. Taipans and Kings. Very interesting game, that one.
Yeah, there is a bit of history between them, a bit of back and forth, so looking forward to seeing that one. DJ Ho against his former team. It's always fun to see one of those matchups.
That's going to see us out for round 9 here in the Hungry Jacks NBL. On behalf of Pete Hooley, Jenna O'Hea, Derek Rucker, and our team behind the scenes who are the best in the business week in, week out. Thanks so much for being with us. We will catch you next Thursday.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Thank you, my man.
Hello.
Enjoy.
Thank you, sir.
Enjoy.
No, you don't.
Hey, great.
All right, I'll get this out of the way.